We shall deal with Amoretti 75. One day I wrote her name. One day I wrote her name upon the strand, but came the waves and washed it away. Again I wrote it with a second hand, but came the tide and made my pains his prey. Vain man, said she, that dost in vain assay a mortal thing so to immortalize, for I myself shall like to this decay, and eke my name be wiped out likewise. Not so, quod I. Let baser things devise to die in dust, but you shall live by fame. And in my verse your virtues rare shall eternize, and in the heavens write your glorious name. Where when us death shall all the world subdue, our love shall live and later life renew. So here in this poem, the context is that both of them, they are on the seashore, and then he is trying to write her name on the sand, and the waves are washing it away, and she says how futile thing it is to do like that, what a vain thing it is to do like that. And he describes how he would eternize her name in his verses. One day I wrote her name upon the strand. Strand means the shore of a sea. But came the waves and washed it away. Again I wrote with a second hand. When it says second hand, it doesn't mean another hand. It means second hand means time. A transferred epithet is being used here. But came the tide and made my pains his prey. So just like how a predator makes the prey, the same way the tide made his pains as its prey. Vain man, said she, that thou dost vain assay, who makes vain attempt a mortal thing so to immortalize. You are trying to immortalize a mortal thing like me. For I myself shall like to this decay, and eke my name be wiped out likewise. Just like how every mortal thing decays, I too will decay, and with that everything will be over. And then he says, not so. Let baser things devise to die in dust. Baser things of less moral principles, they die and become dust. But you will live, you will live, you will become famous. My verse, your virtues rare shall eternize. I will write about your virtues in my verses, and that will eternize you, and that will write your name in heaven. Where when as death shall all the world subdue, when death will subdue all the world, will take control of all the world, our love shall live. Our love will never die. Our love shall live, and in later life it will only be renewed. Now here we should understand one thing, how it's different from Petrarchan sonnets. Petrarchan sonnets, mostly we see the writer, the poet saying craving for physical relationship, as we see in Andrew Marvell's To His Coy Mistress and all, where he asks her, what is the use of virginity? Once you are in grave, it will be eaten by the worms. So the same way, compared different to that, here Spenser has won his lover honorably, and he marries her also. So Amoretti 75 centers on the immortality of spiritual love and the temporality of physical love. Rhyming scheme we already discussed. It is a lyric, and it's based upon the personal experience. We shall see the figures of speech used here. Imagery is being seen in the words like decay, wiped out, die in dust, which are negative images, and positive image we see in the heavens write your glorious name. Alliteration is seen in die and dust. Die in dust. Alliteration is the occurrence of consonants in consecutive words. Die in dust, verse your virtue, love shall live, later life, etc. Repetition. The word vain is repeated twice. Symbolism. The sea here symbolizes the distance between them. The sand in the seashore symbolizes the memories, and the wave symbolizes time. Okay, then personification is done. Sea and waves are given personal qualities, and then we find the personification there. Then we also find hyperbaton. Hyperbaton is how the grammatical structure of a verse is being deconstructed. That is hyperbaton. One day I wrote her name upon the strand. Can be I wrote her name upon the strand one day. So the structure difference is there. So the usage of hyperbaton is the transferred epithet I told you. Second hand. Second hand is not another hand. Second hand means time. Okay, then we find simile. For I myself shall like to this decay. So with the word like, Simile is being used where she compares herself to the mortal things that decay. Antithesis is done like opposite things are put together, like death and life are put together. We see such instances in this poem as well. So I hope the poem is clear to you. Thank you.